highest month with the highest. Now, there was a lot of talking on the weather today about summer. So that's keeping a lot of things down in the zone. But I did like the communication, thought it was great.
Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, I agree. I actually talked to the town of Seabrook and they said they got buzzed every hour or so about, we've heard nothing from Center. Well, too much communication. That wasn't necessary. So, I mean, the communication was added. When I say that, it's not over communicated, so it was good. And I certainly appreciated that. My only suggestion would be, the garbage pickup. And I had some people ask me when that was gonna happen. We don't know, and that's the thing we can tell them. But I put my garbage out Thursday night like I always do, and it's out there all day Friday. And then they finally picked it up on Saturday. And so I don't know whether to bring my garbage in, leave it out. They're gonna miss it this week. That would have been my only suggestion of if we've been told, hey, they'll come, just leave it out, that's good. Or they're not coming, bring it back in, that's good too. I don't care.
Yeah.
Never had garbage go bad.
Yeah, I never had garbage go bad.
Mr. Bell?
Good point.
One thing I noticed, I'd like to give a little shout out to the way the police officers work with the repair crews. Showing them around the town, showing them what street, looking for house numbers and locations they were looking for. They were pretty lost around here without a map.
Yeah, Troy and I were talking about John Ryan today. He was excellent out there.
He's the one I had, I didn't want to mention any particular name.
He deserves it.
But John Ryan, he was right there with them.
Yeah.
And he come by and ask if everybody's okay, if you need anything. I mean, he just can't say enough good things about John Ryan.
All right. Mr. Harrison?
Yeah, John was outward, but there's a lot of officers inward. We had officers in for the storm. I was thankful those guys came in and worked way long hours. The garbage is my fault, 100%. I had text Mr. Decker, had asked him. He didn't text me back immediately. When he did text me back, I was doing something else, but that's 100% my fault. I knew I knew late Thursday, and I just never put it out. I'll do better.
No big deal. I mean, that's a very minor.
It's a big deal. I mean, it really is.
It's the least of our worries.
Yeah.
By declaring an emergency, do we have any monies we can get for this pickup of all the?
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we talk about the amendment, but yeah.
Okay.
All right. Moving on, item 5.0. Public comments. This is the opportunity for the public address council. Time is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Comments are being directed to the city council and dialogue with the audience not permitted. Council members are prohibited by law from participating in discussion or deliberation of items not specifically identified on this agenda. Well, we have a latecomer that made it in. Would you like to address council?
I just want to say thank y'all. Y'all did the best y'all could for this small community, and finally, I think everybody's concerns were addressed and heard. So thank y'all for just being so diligent.
Oh, well, thank you for coming out. Thank you. All right. Moving on, city managers report, item 6.1. Mr. Harrison.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm gonna read from the screen tonight if I can see it. Restricted debt, $32,461.32. The utility deposit fund, we're at $95,140.93. The road repair taxes collected that's held in tax pool, we're at $86,543.69 for a total $214,145.94. In unencumbered funds, our general fund checkings at $103,093.02. Utility checkings, $31,137.42. The tax pool account is $857,566.53 for a total of $991,706.97. You'll recall that a few months ago, we wrote some pretty hefty checks, one for the completion of Baywood from Sunrise to Miramar. And then, of course, we had the unexpected sewer repair that we transferred some. So we spent a lot of money in the last 3 months, but we still look pretty good.
Yeah, we, as you recall from the last meeting, we told you that we would be withdrawing some from tax pool to cover some stuff, and we're very low on cash right now. This is obviously the time of year where we always get low on cash, and we won't be flush with cash again until the end of November, 1st of December, something like that, when property tax money starts rolling in. So we're just gonna have to take it month by month. We've got plenty in reserve. We're doing well. However, we're gonna ask you to spend some more of that tonight. And so, and next week. So, and if you look at road repair, because of the small tax rate hike we had, last year, voted on it, yeah, not the property tax rate, but the sales tax, a 1/4% or something like that. That's growing at about $7,000 a month. So that's, we'll, we've got to do Fairfield. There's no question. We've just got to do it. And so that's gonna help us absorb that impact pretty easily. So we still don't know when we're gonna try to start that project. I don't know if you've had any communication with those fellows, but
Last thing they said was hopefully by April or May, so.
yeah, so
That's that.
we're looking at mid next year for a complete road project over there. So by that time, we'll have at least we'll have more than half the funds to do it. So we'll be looking okay. The municipal court, I usually handle this one for Troy because it's my baby, but we're still ahead of the game on revenue and expenses. Well, how do you like my typo there?
I was gonna say, how are
That's
we
a
at-
good one. $1 million in expenses in court. I gotta get on Diane about that. Yeah, that's a typo. That's me.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so it's 116, not 1,116. I wish I could blame that Elaine, but I can't. So we're about 40 grand up. So or 30 grand up. We'll keep that, make sure that we're not absorbing too much cost. Mr. Harrison, police report.
It was a typical month for us in the police department. We continue to work a lot of traffic. We've worked a lot of traffic even the last week. We wrote citations for people. Now, this is in July, but we were writing citations for going around our barricades because it's a safety issue. So if you hear anybody complaining about that and thinks it's not a big deal, it is, because we had those barricades up for a reason. And we continue to make kids call their parents to come get them off these motorcycles and golf carts. And we've written some citations on those too. Now, I know that's been a Facebook post that went around about us harassing kids, but they're going to get hurt on our slim roads out here when it gets dark and they're still riding. So we've been trying to address that. Golf carts as well.
Man, I missed that, darn it.
There was one that was killed here about 3 years ago or something like that, right there at Forest and Byway. Ran the stop sign.
As that little kid, he was 17, he was on a little yellow dirt bike. He was doing a wheelie through the
And
intersection.
ran the stop sign.
Ran a stop sign doing
Hit
a
a car?
wheelie, and he couldn't see the car.
When it landed over in the yard and killed it.
I don't remember that.
I was standing in the driveway, I watched the.
How long ago?
It's been longer than 3 years.
Time passes,
Yeah. He came this way, doing a wheelie through through the stop sign, made a U-turn, did a wheelie all the way through the intersection, ran into a woman's car that was picking her grandson up at the school.
Hmm.
So the school was there.
I do not
That was
remember that.
before Ike's done.
Yeah. Been a while.
Oh, before I?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't here.
Oh, that was before okay.
Okay, he said it.
I thought you said 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before Ike.
Oh, my goodness.
I should have known about that.
Freaking out over here. How do I not know this?
And he went over the handlebars and his head went right into the back of her car and.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I don't know.
All right. Any questions on police report?
No.
All right. And we did not have a water report come in this month, so. Moving on, item 7.1, the minutes from the June 10th meeting. Anybody read them? Have any comments on them?
Read them. Do we have any more activity on the lease of the property over there for the plant that came in, and gave a ton.
As far as I know, there's been no activity towards that. No one's contacted me.
No,
Yeah. Anything else?
On the report, the response, just looking at it a little bit, it looks like it's better than the last one we seen, wasn't it? Response for the ambulance and.
and I'm telling you, it is hit and miss. They run so few calls, it's very difficult to get a real good look at it in a month when they run 7 or 8 calls in a month, and one of them is beyond that 14-minute, 59-second. Then it throws, I mean, actually out, but their contract says that they will strive for that mark. There's nothing to hold them to it. So we're just gonna provide this and let you guys see it, and
Yeah, thank you.
that's the mayor. The mayor asked that be in there, and we'll include that every month.
That's all I have.
Okay, any comments on the minutes? All those in favor as they are? Yeah, I need to make a motion first. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem McCown. Do I have a motion to talk about the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Ms. Ramos. I think we're all scatterbrained. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second from Mr. McCown. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the minutes are adopted. 7.2, ordinance number 2024-07-01, a budget amendment for debris removal. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve ordinance 2024-07-01.
You don't want to talk about it? You
No,
move
no,
to,
we're talking about it. That's what the motion does. We're gonna talk about approving it.
yeah. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second. Okay, this is, we've already been obviously arranging debris removal. It wasn't like an option or anything. So, Troy and I have already met with, Precinct 2 and Decker and other people, and we're just trying to get enough equipment in. Equipment is pretty scarce, but we do have an interlocal agreement going with Precinct 2 again. And I think Decker's gonna remove some of it, Precinct 2 gonna remove some of it. We've even talked about buying our own truck, because this is so frustrating. So there's a lot of things in the background, but we need to appropriate some money so that Troy can get to work and they can start running. They're already supposed to be running. Don't tell anybody. So I just started at 100 grand. Now, to your question earlier about reimbursement, we will be able to be reimbursed 75% of this if we keep accurate records and file our stuff on time, which we will do. And so of this 100 grand, we're gonna be actually end up paying about 25, you know. And Troy thinks 100 is gonna be enough. I'm not real sure. It might be too much, might be too little, but 100 is a good start, you know, and so that's why I put the 100 there. So this is just you allocating funds for that, and then we will be receiving a reimbursement from FEMA. You know, 8 months, 9 months from now, something like that. Any little bit help, but we obviously got to pick up the trash. We're gonna do it in 3 phases. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first one will be vegetation. That's the main thing we're gonna concentrate on. Then we'll go back, we'll pick up fence boards and such like that. And then typical heavy trash, you know, like well, we really didn't have any flooding. We have had 2 homes that reported water ingress of 1.5 to 2 inches. One on
South Country Club,
Broadway,
one on Broadway.
one on South Country Club that backed up from the Taylor Bio. And so both of those actually backed up from Taylor Bio. Well, no, the one on South Country Club I don't know how that could have happened. No, not on Broadway. That's one I don't know how it could have happened.
So it's every time.
I just don't understand, because the houses around them didn't get water in them. There's houses behind them inside. Anyway, they flooded. And so,
Broadway and Oakdale? Is that the one on Broadway and Oakdale?
no, it's
Haywood.
Broadway and well, it's in between Oakdale and Shady Lawn, 3510. Right across.
Okay, yeah, because that.
It carries a South Broadway address, but it's actually on Oakdale.
Yeah. And so,
That one's about a foot lower than all the rest of the house.
And it's, yeah,
And it's right there where the bayou is. Yeah. It flooded during Harvey as well.
Yeah, you know,
This will handle the vegetation and the garbage as well.
it should handle everything,
Yeah.
we think, you know.
This is just the first hurricane in the season that we got a lot of them.
Go home. Don't be saying that stuff. Good Lord,
Down, man.
man. You jinx us.
Is this real?
Yeah, this is the first of what could be a long season. We'll get it picked up as fast as we can. This is not a fast project. It just is not. I mean, if you look here during a hike, then you know how long it takes. It's a mess. Those trucks come in and roll and they create their own mess and it's just gonna take some time. People are gonna be upset. You're gonna be attacked on Facebook and all that. You have to deal with it. That's why you're here. It's just the way it is. So if you got any ideas on other things to do that, like I said, Troy and I have discussed purchasing our own grapple truck. And then just having somebody operate it so that we have one, you know, because this is for Decker's truck is so small, he can pick up maybe 2 trees. You know, that's 100,000 trips back and forth. So we're trying to address that part. And I think we'll hopefully come up with a solution. But right now I'm asking you to spend 100 grand and or allocate 100 grand and Troy can spend it and you know he's gonna be judicious with it. So I'm not worried about that. Any comments? All those in favor of adopting ordinance 2024-07-01 budget amendment 05 for $100,000 into the emergency cleanup, say aye.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Moving on to item 7.3, we will need to have a meeting next Monday. As I said, the emergency declaration needs to be extended by you. I can't extend it. I could create another one. I could keep doing one every week, but that's not the way it's supposed to work. You guys take responsibility for that. And so we will also be able to do some other business next week. And so if you have something you want to take up, we can do that. It'll be a regular meeting. So anything you want on there. So we will need to have a regular meeting. So all those in favor of scheduling a meeting, do I need a motion?
Make a
Make a motion from Mr. Greason. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Mr. McCown, who's quicker than Ms. Ramos. Right, all those in favor of scheduling a second regular meeting of council for July the 22nd at 6 p.m., say aye.
Aye.
And that passes and we will have a meeting next Monday. And item 8.0 adjournment, all those in favor of adjourning at 6:23 p.m., say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you guys for coming out and thank you for coming out. Thank you for your kind words. We don't hear that too
I've
often.
done it quicker before.
Thank you, ma'am.
When do you think we're gonna have our first workshop?
Well, I had already started, I planned on this month. So it's gonna be second week of August now. I'll try to get it in that first Monday, so. I really. The meeting is over. We still have a quorum, so I can't say anything, but. Who, do you know her? We're gonna switch EMS somehow, somewhere.
Did what now?
40 EMS somehow.
Yeah, especially.
I don't even think it beats me having to drive down the station for
Yes, sir, it does.
Oh, let me tell you why. I thought I would never say that, but my experience at Methodist last Tuesday and Wednesday, when they went back, when I got carried back to the hospital, that was in Baytown was probably.
Got lucky, I think.
Professionals.
The trees.
Air out of breath, and it's on the mirror, and I can't believe they determined the things.
About a year ago, we went off.
Have their stuff set up right now.
Really?
I left him a message that was I finishing working.
Wrote a lot of letters, wrote.
We'll call him as soon as we're done with the meeting.
We'll call it.
Yeah.
That you had electricity.
Not a problem, Mr. Lynn.
Thank you much.
Yes, sir.